Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals that I made for dinners this week. I made some chimichangas, some chicken Alfredo roll-ups, and some panko crusted chicken. If you're interested in videos like these, just go ahead and subscribe because I make these every single week. So I'll just get into the video. So for Monday's dinner, we made the chicken, cheese, and bean chimichangas. So here I am just chopping up 2 chicken breasts while I'm just trimming off the fat. So then I just go ahead and put the chicken breast in my crock pot. I have the Instant Pot crock pot. So I just pressure cook these chicken breasts. So here I am just putting some vegetable oil and a bunch of these seasonings on there. And then I like to put a little bit of water. I just think it helps keep the chicken super tender and juicy. So then I put the crock pot on 19 minutes and let it slow release for a little bit. And then I pressure release it. I think that's what it's called. And then I take it out and shred it with 2 forks. And then I put the shredded chicken back in the crock pot and I just put it on the saute setting. I put some extra chicken broth in there just to let the chicken absorb it and just let it get a little bit more juicy. So I didn't want to wrap the chimichangas on camera just because I didn't know how they'd turn out. I made my boyfriend 2 and made 1 for me. And then I just fried them up. They were actually pretty easy to wrap and fry. I was very surprised. And this is how they turned out. I was very happy with them. They were pretty easy and I will definitely make them again. So for Tuesday night's dinner, I made some chicken Alfredo lasagna roll-ups and some baked green beans. So I'm just doing the same thing with the chicken, except I have 3 chicken breasts instead and I'm just going to put them back in a crock pot. I add about a cup of chicken broth and then I just put my Instant Pot crock pot back on 19 minutes to pressure cook the chicken. I ended up just using the whole package of lasagna. It makes a lot, so I just made some extra rolls to make and give to my mom. After I shredded up the chicken, I just added some sour cream, probably about 2 tablespoons, some Alfredo sauce, the jar kind, and about a handful to 2 handfuls of Monterey Jack cheese, and the rest of the seasonings that I used to season the chicken in the beginning. So here I am just rolling up the lasagna rolls. It's definitely a messy process and my hands are cleaned. For reference, both my fiance and I had 2 each for dinner and then we both had leftovers. They are pretty filling if you have like a side or maybe some garlic bread. I just went ahead and topped them with the rest of the Alfredo sauce, some Monterey Jack cheese, and some parsley flakes. I put them in the oven at about 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes and then broiled the top until it was brown. And then I'm just going to season the green beans and put them in the oven at 425 for about 20 minutes. Don't mind what the timer says. And this is how everything turned out. This is my second time making these and I really do like them. I just served them up with some of the green beans and we called it a day. So I am just cutting a large chicken breast in half and trimming the fat, and then I will use both of these halves for dinner. For the chicken marinade, I'm going to use olive oil, some Hidden Valley Buttermilk Ranch, Worcestershire sauce, some pepper, some garlic salt, and some onion powder, and some garlic. So then I just put the chicken in the fridge with some aluminum foil on top, and I'm gonna let it marinate for at least 3 to 4 hours before I cook it. So for side for dinner, I'm just going to roast some red potatoes. So here I am just chopping up them into some bite-sized pieces. So then I'm just going to go ahead and wash and rinse these potatoes in a strainer. For the marinade for the potatoes, I'm going to use the Olive Garden Italian dressing, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some garlic salt. So I think I just went ahead and put the potatoes on a cooking sheet and put them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes. For our vegetables, I just used some green beans. I just seasoned them with all of my Flavor God seasoning. They were like the Garlic Lovers Italian and I believe the Everything seasoning. You can see that I am pretty heavy-handed with my seasonings. I grew up in a house where seasoning was a thing, so these turned out great. So for the mixture that you put on top of the chicken, I didn't have provolone cheese, so I just used jack cheese and then probably, I don't even know how much ranch dressing. I totally eyeballed it, as you can see, until the mixture was the consistency that I wanted, and then I used some Parmesan cheese. The last thing that you put on top of the chicken is the panko mixture. So I just melted some butter. I do think I melted a little bit too much butter. And then I just threw in the breadcrumbs until it was a consistency that I thought would brown really nice on top of the chicken. This step is optional, but I just went ahead and browned both sides of the chicken. If you wanted to just put the chicken inside the oven and bake it with the toppings, that would probably be healthier, but I did want to get the brown on the chicken. So right before I put the chicken inside the 400-degree oven, I just layered the top of the chicken with the cheese mixture. I left the chicken in the oven until the cheese melted, and then I just went ahead and put the panko mixture on top, put it back in the oven, and then broiled it. This is how everything came out. I was super happy with the dish. I would definitely make this again. I think the chicken was something that I've never had before. If you're kind of weary about the ranch taste, I would say just go ahead and try it. I definitely wasn't sure how I would like the hot ranch flavor, but this actually came together really nice. Thank you for watching, and come back next week for another What's for Dinner video.